Hi, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop, and I hope you're watching this whole series on rebuilding this 42-inch machine. So I used a lot of my good parts that were used to put in this machine to save some money. Now I've got a list, but I don't have it totaled yet on how much we saved. But the chain case, instead of rebuilding it, I put on one of mine. And I've got a list of this, but I might do that in another video. I put all good parts in there and saved, I don't know, probably 400 bucks, I'm hoping. But in the last video, I started to adjust the chain case to get it where I think neutral should be. And you do that by using your shift plate. You loosen up these two bolts and this plate moves up and down. And as you can see, as I move the plate, the chain case moves. So I want to get that in the middle. And tighten these up. That's all there is to adjusting your chain case. Now, if you have problems with your linkages or this pivot point being worn and you've got a lot of slop, if you can move your chain case back and forth without loosening this, then you're going to have to change some of them wear points, because that's where your slop is coming from. And that could keep you from getting it into fifth gear, or it could be stopping it from going all the way into reverse. You want to have that properly adjusted, and I've got a video that goes all over that. Now I guess I tied the belt up to get it out of my way. I guess we're going to put this thing down on its tires and work on the top side. We don't have that much more to do to finish it. I could have finished it in the last video, but the video was getting kind of long, so I quit. What we want to do now is we want to put the little shift handles on the dashboard. Pull you over here. Hang on. I don't know what Bruce is going to think when he sees these videos. I'm trying to keep him best informed as I can. Now these little shift handles come out with a screw and a nut. Don't try to just jerk them off, because it's not going to work. Back this screw out. And shove it on. Now you want to put the screw in from the inside, not the outside. And my nut fell off. If you try to put the screw in from the outside, you won't have room to get your screwdriver on it. And that was my next thing I was going to tell you. The nut, keep your finger over the hole and it won't fall off on you. Back this. You don't have to take screw all the way out. If you just look in that slot, you can see when it clears, and you can slide it on. This one's a little stiffer. I can't tell if I got the hole lined up. This is the one that locks your brake pedal down. And then when you step on the brake pedal, this will automatically come unlocked. It just pops down. Now what we want to put on next is the cover and the foam pad that goes on the steering shaft. Little washer-like cover that covers up the ugly cotter key. Just kind of pretties it up a little bit. Then this goes on. Now the steering wheel. But we had a problem with the steering wheel. Where did I even put it? Oh, here we go. If you've watched most of the videos, hopefully all of them, you will remember that I had a problem getting this off, to the point that all I could do was cut the shaft. I took it to work. They tried to drill this roll pin out, which you can't do. Well, you can if you got a carbide drill, but a regular high-speed steel drill will not drill out that hardened spring steel roll pin. So they messed that up pretty good. The only thing I could do is I cut the shaft off, and I put a new shaft in that I had. And took it to work, and I put it on a mill table and clamped it down, and I milled down in the center of the shaft, cutting the roll pin, which I thought would relieve the pressure, and I could stand it up this way if I get this out. This little cover that says snapper. They pop right out, in case you didn't know that. And there's a reason. I milled the top of that bump off. They have that sealed. So I could put this in a press, and I went down through that hole, and I hopefully pressed the top part of the shaft out. Well, that didn't work so well. As you can see, the aluminum housing broke between this shaft being rusted in or corroded in and what was left of the roll pins. It didn't come out. It pretty much ruined the wheel. So I happened to mention that to my wife. Oh, you know, I gonna have to put another wheel on there because this one broke when I tried to get it apart. And she said, well, you're not gonna charge him for that, are you? I said, well, it wasn't really my fault. She said, well, you broke it. Well, you can't argue with that at all. So I got out a wheel, and we're going to put a new wheel on it. Now, the reason these little covers come out, and one of my viewers told me, let me get you straight on with this thing. Let me move this up so you can see better. This is the way the wheels are when you buy the machine. The snapper is the way it's supposed to be. Now, a lot of guys, including myself, the seat's not on here yet, so I'm going to be sitting farther forward once the seat's on. This is kind of tight. Long-legged me. A viewer told me if you take that pin out, you can rotate the steering wheel, and now it's 3 inches farther forward than what it was when the factory had it in. See, I got about, well, I put my finger out here. That's how much farther forward it is. And it's not that hard to do. You knock the pin out. Use a roll pin punch. I've showed them before on other videos. It's a 1/4 inch punch with a pin sticking out of the end of it. That pin goes inside of the roll pin and centers it. Otherwise, if you get off of the roll pin, you start mushrooming the hole shut and you'll never get the pin out. Then all you got to do is pop out this nameplate and flip it over. And I don't know which way Bruce wants it. So right now I'm just going to put a bolt through here. And we'll put a nut on the other side. And it looks really hideous because you got this big bolt sticking out. But at least this way I can use the wheel to get it out of the shop. When Bruce picks the machine up, I'll ask him which way do you want it, and I'll pound a pin in at that point. But for right now, that's how I'm going to leave it. Now, the last thing I think that I have to do is put this seat on. The seat is not really in very good shape. It's got a lot of duct tape on it. But it doesn't really look that bad with all that tape on there. Let's see, I'll tip you down. Oh, back to kneeling on the floor. Now the back of the seat has 4 bolts. This machine has very limited safety switches, which I like. It has one on the mower deck that tells the interlock that the deck is disengaged. It has one right here on the shift handle, right back here, that tells the interlock I'm in neutral, and it'll start. Now the back 2 holes on this seat has a bolt and a washer in them. And you don't tighten those up. You just get them snug. Because the front 2 holes have these adjusting handles that you loosen it up, slide the seat either forward or backwards, and retighten the handles. And we had to replace those too. Now, we see if we get these things started, because you can't see a thing down here where the holes are. And there's one on this side. Oh, I need carpeting. We'll snug these up just a little bit. You want it to be able to slide. Then we screw the handles on. If we can find the holes. There we go. And maybe we can get this one in from this side. I hope my big head ain't in your way. And Bruce about the size I am, so we're going to move the seat all the way back and tighten up these knobs. And I believe that's about it. We have to put the cover on where the electronics are. If we can get that in there, that's going to be a real challenge. With that choke cable going right through there. snap on them little push pins. And I believe, whoops, I don't know where to set the camera now. They got the legs extended. Boy, doing the camera work yourself really is not. I gotta hire a camera person. I don't know. But I think that's it, my friends. I'm gonna push this thing out of here. I have to buy a new oil filter for it and fill it with oil and gas, and that's it. This thing's ready to roll. I'd be so glad to have a little more room in here. The more deck I'm gonna have to load in the back of my truck and take up to a dealer in where did I find him at? Hart, I believe. And he has a chute, a deck adapter that'll fit this thing. Because Bruce is thinking about putting a bagger on it. But without that deck adapter, you can't do it. And all the adapters I have is for 28 and 33-inch machines. And you all know what them look like. They're just a circular adapter that hooks onto the realm deck. This one is rectangular and the opening is flat and it has to go on. How it hooks on the deck, I don't know, because the deck chute, whatever they call that, is gone. You don't have that either. So the guy just apparently took that off so the debris could blow out farther and spread out more evenly than just deflecting it down on the ground. So I'm going to have to drag that up there and see if the adapter will fit. And then you'll get a hold of Bruce and say, hey, do you want to buy this adapter? Because it's $144 just for the deck adapter. And then I'll sell them a bagger and see what goes from there. So until next time, work safe, have fun. Please subscribe. I need your subscribership to help me out, to keep me going on YouTube, and to keep rebuilding these machines. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I've got a bunch of emails to answer. I just got my phone back and working. Well, I just got it back. Let's hope it's working. And I guess that's it. So until next time, see you later.